Hey guys, Nicholas here, aka Enmetice on Headfi, and today I'm going to do an unboxing of the Brainwavz M100 dynamic in-ear monitors. After that, I'm going to go on to tell you a little bit about what I think they sound like and how they compare to some of the in-ear monitors in a similar price range that I've got in for testing recently. So first, let's just go over the box here. So Brainwavz has gone to a very simple aesthetic with their packaging for their recent in-ear monitors. I've gotten in the M100 and the B100 in for testing recently, and they're both pretty simple when it comes to the packaging, but have a different look to them. So here's the front of the box. It just tells you that it's the M100, and it has a raised Brainwavz on it. Flip it over to the side here. It lets you know that they have a 24-month warranty, so you get the 2-year warranty with Brainwavz. That's always nice. And also lets you know they come with Comply foamy tips. The back looks eerily like the front, just kind of a mirror image of it. And the other side has the exact same thing. So very symmetrical. The top and the bottom don't really have anything on them. I mean, it's not much there, just some media stuff, where to reach Brainwavz on the web and Twitter and Facebook, and a little bit of boilerplate here at the bottom. Got the SKU, and that is it. So with that, I am going to pop open the box and show you what's inside. So I've already opened this, obviously, but I'm going to pop it open again for you guys and show you what you're looking at here. So open it up and pull it out, and what you get is a little plastic case here. Nothing to it besides opening it up and pulling out your new in-ear monitors. There they are. So that's basically what you get, just a box with a plastic case inside protecting or holding your in-ear monitor case. And I am going to pause for just a moment. I'll zoom in, open this up, and show you around the M100 accessories kit. Alright, I'm back. I've unpacked the M100 from their carry case, and here is what you get inside. You get the Brainwavz in-ear earphones user guide. This is generic and it's for all of their in-ear monitors, so it doesn't have really anything specific to the M100 in it. It just goes over, don't listen too loud, here's how you put on the foam tips, here's how you put on silicone tips, put on a shirt clip, etc. Pretty generic, stripped down user guide. And if you remember from the box, and something I was expecting to find, or if you remember, the box did not have any specifications on it. And I thought they might be in this user guide, but they're not. There are no specifications indicated anywhere in the box or inside the product literature. So if you want the specs, you need to go on to the Brainwavz website. And I'll go over those specs later when I start talking specifically about the M100 themselves. So anyway, you get the user guide, you get silicone tips, you get a couple pairs each of small, medium, large, single flange, and you also get the double flange tips with a little bit wider bore on them. And you get a pair of Comply size medium T400 foam tips. And you get the nice Brainwavz carry case, and it has a couple pouches here, one that I'm resting the actual earpieces on. You can slide the very bottom of your cable right inside there to keep the cable still. Rest up your earpieces here, or do it the opposite way, whichever you want. Whatever you want to store in there, you can store something there. And then a little holder at the top where they place those tips, and that's what I've been keeping up there. Just keep the tips. And you've got a clip, and you've got the M100 wrapped up with a Brainwavz labeled piece of Velcro, and they come with the stock medium single flange tips on them, and so that's what you get. You know, it's not it looks like it's not quite as generous of an accessory package as some of the other Brainwavz in-ear monitors that I've gotten in the past have. They usually have some triple flange tips. They usually have hybrid and standard silicone tips. Not so with the M100. But there it is. That's what you get. I am going to clear this stuff out of the way off camera, and I will be right back just to show off the actual M100 themselves. Alright, be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. I have unwound the M100, and I'm just going to run up from the jack all the way up to the earpieces and let you know what I think about the construction of these guys. So, here we are at the jack. It's not an L plug, it's not a straight plug, it's one of these 45-degree plugs, and it has a very generous strain relief on it. This guy does not look like it's going to give out anytime soon, and neither does the jack. I think this all looks good to me. You know, sturdy. Sorry if I'm getting little shadows in there, but that part looks good. And the cable itself here, it's a little bit stiff. It's a little bit prone to retaining the memory, or it has a little memory effect where you have, you know, if you wind it up, it's going to retain that a bit. It's not too bad, but it is a little stiffer than cables that I usually deal with. It does feel quite sturdy, though. I mean, it's, you know, you can see me yanking it around there. The cable's, it's a sturdy little guy. I like that they've got the Velcro fastener attached right to it with the Brainwavz logo on it. I don't really care about the Brainwavz logo itself necessarily, but I like having this type of fastener, and I also like that the Brainwavz part, they've got the soft part of the Velcro on the outside and not the rough part, so that it does not stick to the inside of the case, which is fabric. So that is good. And let's keep going up the cable here. You know, it's a standard length cable. The length of it feels fine to me. Y splitter. It's a little bit on the chunky side, as most of the Brainwavz Y splitters are, but again, you know, I think it's a good strain relief. It's sturdy and it's going to hold up. It's not going to give out on you. They do include a chin slider, and it's going to stay put. Just given the nature of the cable, it is not a slick cable. It's got texture to it, kind of a rubberized feel, and that chin slider is going to stay put. Running up the cable after the Y splitter, or the cables after the Y splitter, the next thing you encounter is the microphone and remote module. So here it is, Brainwavz logo, or Brainwavz name. It's got the mic right there. Probably hard to see, but it's right above my thumbnail. Flip it over, and of course, nearest to the Y splitter is the minus button for volume down, the plus buttons at the top for volume up, and then the play, pause, or receive and hang up phone calls button is in the middle, and this is made for iOS and Android devices. I actually don't usually use earphones with my phone. I did not test this out. I'm just assuming that it would work like any microphone and remote module would with an iOS or Android phone, but I listen to this guy with my DAPs, so I can attest to that for sure, but I'm assuming Brainwavz wouldn't put a non-functional mic and remote unit on there. And moving up to the top of the cable, here are the earpieces, and you can see they're clearly marked. So here is the right earpiece, and here's the left earpiece. So you get the right, or the R in a circle. You get an, for the right one, an L in a circle for the left one. And then facing other people when you put it into your ear. So, you know, somebody walked up on you, the L would be to the back of your head, and the Brainwavz name would be towards the front of your head. Okay. Again, strain reliefs are fine. I don't see any problem with that. The cable here, it's not the most supple cable in the world, but I was able to get it to go over my ears without any ear guides. If you do want to wear it over ear, they're meant to be worn ear down, but you can wear it over ear if you want to. And you know, the tips are already on there. If you take the tips off, you got a fairly wide nozzle. I mean, it's all pretty standard stuff, but you know, it's a normal wide nozzle. It's got the mesh covering over the front of it. And just one thing, and I am not sure if other people have found it, but I've looked all over this guy for a vent hole, and they're not in the usual places. You know, usually you'd have one around the inner face here of the shell. Sometimes you get it on the top. Sometimes you have it on the back. I don't see them, and I'm not going to zoom in for you guys to see it, but the only place I can think is it looks like there might be a tiny vent hole here just to the inner ear portion, or the inside of the strain relief coming out of the shell itself. So that is a little bit of a tour of these guys, of the Brainwavz M100, and I think I will stop right there, and I'm going to come back in a minute, and I'll talk a little bit more about what I liked and what I think can be improved about the Brainwavz M100. Alright guys, we're back. Now's the time where you get to see this ugly mug, see how much my hair's grown, how much my beard has grown over the winter, getting scruffy. It's the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, however you celebrate. I hope you're enjoying it with your family. And what we're here to talk about today is the Brainwavz M100 in your monitors. I've already shown you around the box. I've shown you the accessories. I've talked a little bit about them. And now I'm going to pop them in my ears and show you what they look like when they're on. And then I'm going to go on and talk about the basic sound signature of them and what I like and what I think could be improved about them. So here we go. Pop in my ears. There they are. When you twist them in, you can get a little crinkling, a little bit of driver flex. It's not too bad. Here's what they look like from the side. Yeah, on either side. And the remote module just hangs down right here, so not too far away. It's easy to reach down and grab. Should provide decent clarity for your voice. And if you want, you know, I'll untwist them from my ears and show you. You know, if you want, you can just pull them over your ear and pop them in, so that you are wearing them over ear. Works fine without any sort of ear hooks for me. Stay put fairly well. And it does make the chin, or the Y splitter, a little bit high. You know, it's not going to be down at your mid-chest anymore. It's going to be, you know, up a little bit higher, but it's not bad. So that's how they look like when they're on. So now, I think just talking about the build of these guys, what do I like? What do I not like? I like the sturdiness of the design. Again, you know, I went over this before, but the jack, it's well built. good strain relief. Same thing on the Y splitter here. It's got good sturdy strain relief. It's not going to break on you. I don't think the cable will break on you. It's pretty tough. It does have a little bit of memory effect, which I think can be improved upon. It could be a little more supple, but you might be sacrificing some sturdiness for suppleness if you do that. Above the Y splitter, it has the same kind of stiff outer coating on the actual cable. It feels kind of rubberized. I think this is the place where I'd most like the suppleness to be improved. I like it to be, the thickness here is fine, but I think they should do away with that coating or find an alternative coating above the Y splitter to make this a little easier to put over your ears and stay put. It's okay, but it could be a little more comfortable, and I think it'd stay put better if it were a little more supple. I mentioned earlier, I don't care about the mic module. Actually, I'd prefer that it doesn't even have a remote and mic because I don't listen with my phone. That's just me. I'm sure some people will love it. I could do without it. And on the excuse me, on the actual in-ear monitors themselves, here they are. I do like the very clear, high contrast left-right markings. I think that's great. They're comfortable when you put them in your ears. They nestle in well. They're comfortable. I have no problem with the comfort or the aesthetics. I love it. Black and white, perfect for me. Obviously, you can tell I'm wearing a black and white T-shirt. That's one of my gigs, like black and white. And I like the metal housings. They seem durable, yet they're also lightweight enough that you don't feel drag on your ears when you wear them, either wear them down or over ear. So overall, I think they're good. I just think the cable could use a little bit of work. Other than that, I like the build quality of these, and I think that they are comfortable. Before I go on to talk about the sound, one thing that I'd mentioned before was the lack of specifications on the box or inside in the product literature. I think Brainwavz needs to address that. It should not just be on the website. You should have the specifications in with your product. So I'm going to let you know what those are. This guy has an 8mm dynamic driver inside, and it's going to be fairly easy to drive. It has a 32 ohm impedance, and its sensitivity is 110 decibels per milliwatt. So, it's going to be fine to use on a phone with a DAP. You got plenty of power. Either way, it's going to get loud enough for you. And then Brainwavz states that it has a 12 hertz to 22 kilohertz frequency range on these in-ear monitors. I have no way, or I guess I could try and listen for the 12 hertz, but I didn't do that. I have testing gear, and I can test from 20 to 20, and I know that they perform, or they actually hit 20 to 20, and I'll describe where they hit along the frequency right now, I guess. It's time for a little discussion about how they sound. So, if you've looked into these at all on Headfi, you'll know that there's maybe a little bit of controversy about the M100 and specifically about their tuning. I think everybody agrees that they're typical Brainwavz. They have, they're built to last, and they certainly look like they're going to last. They have a warranty to back that up. No problems there. They got you covered if anything goes wrong. Usually, though, Brainwavz goes for a little bit different tuning than these. I think recently they've started to go they've started to go down different paths with their tuning. When I started out listening to Brainwavz, I was listening to the I've had several. I'll just go over that. I've had the S1, which is the first I started out with, V-shaped, Gets a little bit hot up top. Not my favorite. Then S5 came out. I got that. That was a much better implementation of the V shape. I liked it quite a bit better than the S1. Similar tuning between those two, but more refined with the S5. I enjoyed it. It was one of those early IEMs that I had when I was heading down the audiophile path on Headfi, and it's fun. I still have it in my collection. I keep it around. Then they came out with S0. That was a bit controversial as well. I actually have them right here. There, the S0, which compared to these guys, I'll hold them up here. Yeah, kind of similar. They both have, as the other S-series intermonitors do, they have aluminum shells and nice sturdy strain reliefs. Something I don't like about most of the S-series. I mean, it's okay, but it's this big flat cable here, and I'm not a big fan of the flat cable. I wish they would stick with a conventional cable. Maybe they'll do that in the future. But the overall, you know, kind of similar size between these two. They're both stick straight in, and they're, you know, around the same weight shells. The S0 are a little bit heavier just because they've got these big fat strain reliefs on them, and the cable is a lot heavier, so you're going to feel the drag on the S0. Not as easy to keep in your ears because of that. These M100 are a lot easier to keep in your ears. But I digress. I was starting to say the S0 was a little bit of an unconventional tuning when it came out, or controversial tuning. It didn't follow the same V shape that the other S-series intermonitors had up until that point, the S1 and the S5. These had, or people said these have a darker tuning, and they do. You know, they still have quite a bit of bass like the S5 did, but they toned down the treble. They still have a nice upper mid presence. You still, I mean, for me, they sound good. I actually like these quite a bit. They're a lot more relaxed. The S0, they're a lot more relaxing to listen to compared to the S5, which are quite a bit more energetic intermonitor due to their V-shaped sound signature. So the S0, to me, I like them for a little bit darker of a monitor because they still have a nice upper mid presence, but the treble is toned down. You can still hear the treble. It's just not, you know, it's not there sparkling in your face or sparkling in your ears, your headspace, whatever you want to call it. And then the S3 came out. Very low bass presence. Not quite sure who that was tuned for. I wasn't a big fan of the S3. It seemed like it was just very mid-centric, not a lot of bass. Not my gig. Wasn't into it, and it was just I didn't like the shell on it either because it was just the silver color, and it was quite reflective, so I felt like it was going to blind people when I was out. I much prefer these nice black, matte black shells that these have. So the S0 and the M100 are actually probably the most aesthetically pleasing intermonitors that I've seen from Brainwavz. I really like the looks of both of these, especially the S0. If they just got rid of this flat cable, I like these. Good things. Anyway, back to the M100. So the Brainwavz intermonitor that to me is the closest to these is the one I just showed you. It's the S0, except for these guys, the M100, toned down the upper mids quite a bit. So these still have a decreased treble presence. The upper mids are toned down. And then these, I mean, they still have a lot of bass, like the S0 down here on my lap did. But these guys increase the sub-bass presence a little bit. So they sound very bass forward because they've got more sub-bass compared to the mid-bass. They sound a little less punchy than the S0. They sound very relaxed because they have they sound pretty relaxed because they have lowered upper mid presence. And I think a lot of people think they sound dull because they have the low upper mid presence and they have low treble presence. So very smooth, very polite, not a lot of clarity, despite Brainwavz marketing. You know, they said controlled bass, not the most controlled bass, not tight, not punchy, kind of softer bass, quite a bit of bass. They say on the website, good clarity. Not so much. Not so much. Very relaxed upper end. More this just pop them in your ears, kick back, and relax type of in-ear monitor. Is it what I would choose to listen to if I were spending, so these are $89.50. You know, if I were spending $89.50 on a pair of in-ear monitors, are these what I would go for? I would have to say no. I would not spend my $89.50 on these in-ear monitors because I think they're just too relaxed up top. And the bass is too voluminous. So I think they're unbalanced and they're a little too bass forward for me. Some people might go for that, but that's not what I'm looking for in an in-ear monitor. If I had to choose between these and say, sorry, pick them up again, the Brainwavz S0, despite the fact I don't like the cable on the S0, I think I would go with the S0 so I get more upper mid presence. That helps balance these out more than the M100. Some other in-ear monitors I've listened to recently, they're around the same price range as these. The Rapsodio Clipper. They're, a little bit less than these actually, and they're quite, they're another V-shaped IEM, so more bass in these and quite a bit more upper mid presence and treble presence in these. So you're going to hear the trebles on the Clipper. You're going to hear the guitar crunch on the Clipper. It can get a little bit edgy, to be honest. So the Clipper, if you're looking for a more exciting listen, the Clipper will be better for you than these, and better than the S0 as well. I've listened to the Advanced Acoustic Works Nebula 1, and I'll probably put out a review sometime in the pretty near future for those. Again, more of a V-shaped IEM, and it's going to give you more excitement than these. It does not sound as edgy as the Clipper, so if you're looking for something just a little more exciting than the M100 and a little more exciting than the S0 over here, then the Nebula 1 could be a good choice for you. It still has good upper mid presence, but it's got more treble presence than the S0. And let me think here. Is there anything else that I would throw into that mix? I think it's, maybe the Shozy Zero. That's around the same price, I guess. Shozy Zero, again, more bass, and you're going to have more upper mid and more treble presence than these. So Shozy Zero might be another good choice for you if you're looking for something in that, slightly, more of a U-V-shaped range. Not so much as something like the Clipper. That's definitely a V-shape. The Shozy Zero is going to be more of a U-shape, I'd say, with quite a bit of bass to it. So I hope that gives you some guidance on the M100. Again, very sturdy, comfortable, good aesthetics. Cable could use a little bit of work to make it more supple, but it's tough. It's going to last. They're $89.50, single dynamic driver, very smooth, relaxed, bass forward sound signature that quite a few people who've gotten them in on Headfi have said, very smooth and relaxed, not so much for me. A little too smooth and relaxed. So if that's what you're looking for, these might be a good choice. Otherwise, you might want to look into some of the other in-ear monitors that I mentioned. good choice from Brainwavz, I think, in this category would be the S0, or something like the, if you want to go Shozy Zero. They look really nice. Wood in-ear monitors, give you a little U shape, sound good. Or, move up to something like the AAW Nebula 1, if you want it's a little more excitement. And if you really want that exciting factor, sparkly, crisp up top, got quite a bit of bass down at the bottom, big V shape, then you can go for the Rapsodio Clipper. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think I've told you everything that I need to tell you about these. And I guess I'll be back pretty soon because I just got the Brainwavz M100 in, and I need to make a little video going over those in the near future. And I've got quite a few other single dynamic, those are a single BA, so I've got quite a few other single BA in-ear monitors to test those against. So I've been listening to the Brainwavz M100, which, just a little bit of a spoiler, I like better than these. They're quite a bit more balanced than these and have more clarity up top, yet they retain warmth down at the bottom end. So I think they're a nicely balanced, more natural sounding in-ear monitor than the M100. And as a comparison, or as comparative IEMs for those, maybe out of the price range, but I do have the MEE or the Emelec A161P. I've also got the New Force HEM2, and finally, really out of its, maybe a little bit out of its league, the Campfire Audio Orion. So I'll tell you how the M100 compares against those in that upcoming video. So stay tuned. Again, happy holidays to everybody out there who's listening. And until next time, happy listening, guys.